Welcome back to the show. It's 2 minutes past 9. It is a Friday. Martin's still with us. Morning, Martin. How are you?
Great. Hey, Red.
What?
What's the longest period of time you've spent walking somewhere?
Longest time I spent walking somewhere, probably when I was in the Army Cadets and we had to walk the moors.
You were in the Army Cadets?
I know. I was a marksman. I could get in basically what we call a 2 pence piece. So it's like about 2 inches at 25 meters with a Lee Enfield 303. Yeah,
wow.
I know.
Listeners, I'm scared. No,
I'm a pacifist, but you know.
I think the longest walk I did was from Luxor in Nepal until Mount Everest Base Camp.
You are joking. You did that?
I'm serious. I did that. 10 years ago.
Base camp's like, what is that, 15?
5,000 meters.
5,000 meters.
Sea level, I think.
That's 5 kilometers above sea level.
Now, speaking of walking,
yes,
we have a special guest in the studio.
We do.
Who knows quite a bit about the topic and a bunch of other things.
Morning, Peter.
Good morning, good morning.
How are you, sir?
Well, I've walked a little further than that and I'm well.
Show off.
In fact,
look at this guy.
Show off.
Now, Peter, you've been walking for a while, haven't you, Peter?
Yeah, I've also done a walk close to the one you just talked about. I did
But you went down the other side, though, didn't you?
Annapurna thing. Yeah. I went and walked down Annapurna a couple of years ago, but lately, yeah, a lot of walking.
Now, how long have you been walking for, Peter?
I started I started when the world ended because I thought it seemed like a sensible time to begin.
Sorry, I
something
missed
new.
that. I didn't get the memo. What do you mean the world ended?
So you started at the beginning of the 21st century?
No. The world ended on the 21st of December 2012. Did you miss that?
Oh.
Bit of a Mayan thing going on.
Yeah, the Mayan.
No, I thought that was out of schedule
yeah.
because the calendars were wrong.
Yeah, but then they found another tablet, didn't they? And it sort of
You're another tablet. Hey, look, okay, so you've been walking for how long? About a year and a half now?
No. That's like 10 months or
10 months.
Just over 10 months.
10 months. Okay, so
a couple of months between.
Where have you been walking and why are you walking?
Good. I'm glad you asked that question.
You're very good at this, Martin.
Well, there's a couple of things involved. It was really something that went way back when I was 10 years old. I thought it seemed like a really cool thing to do. So
you have these big dreams when you're young.
Yeah, exactly. It kind of struck me that was a good idea, and then it disappeared for a long time. Then I got divorced when I was 40-something, and thought now would be a really good time to go and do that.
I think probably. I'm just gonna walk it off.
Yeah.
Feeling a bit jaded. I'll be over here.
Then I realised that wasn't possible.
No,
I'd never walk that.
You'll never walk that up. It's funny. When I was about 10 or 11, I had this idea that I could possibly go into every single room in every single building in every single town in every single country. Or then I sort of brought it back. I thought, what if I could go to every city in the world? And then sort of life got in the way, and I was like, maybe I can just like go to every country in the world, and then it's sort of
every continent. Maybe.
No, every continent.
It's exactly what you said, though. Life got in the way, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and lightheartedly, that's sort of a fun thing to say, but that's really what happens: is life gets in the way, and we end up doing a whole bunch of stuff that we think is how the world is supposed to work, instead of doing the thing that really actually sings to us, and it's really worth noticing. And I can tell you that it is the most amazing journey you can possibly go on to work out what the hell that thing is and do it.
I'm hearing you.
This guy's got a soul chord singing. Joe, little angels plucking them.
You got it.
Before you came in, Peter, we were talking about a guy called Odyssey, and he's just brought a new album called Tangible Dreams. Yeah. Which is talking about
your dreams might be closer than you realise, but you've tricked yourself into thinking you can't do them.
1/10 of an inch, apparently.
Right.
1/10 of an inch.
Very close.
The length of the cerebral cortex.
So you've been walking for 10 months.
Yeah.
And in that time you've walked?
I walked about 1,800 kilometres in Australia, and was planning originally to walk across Australia and then head up through India and so on, because that seemed very kind of spiritual. But a friend of mine said, why would you walk across Australia? Why not walk New Zealand shortly after doing a bit of coast on Australia, and then you've got South America next, and then North America, and it was kind of
a nicer
idea. Yeah.
Can I ask you, is it a spiritual thing, or is there a big reason behind it, or is it just a self?
Just little reasons like the balance of the entire Earth, peace all over the Earth, and freedom.
Just the small things.
Yeah, nothing
major.
Just the tangential issues.
And there is no such thing as anything major. It's like everything is just my experience of it. So I'm not really doing this walk in order to say to people, hey, you must do this too. You know, you've really got to kind of hear my message or get on with it. And it's really about saying, okay, well, I spent 25 years, 30 years looking at the... Are you allowed to say crap on New Zealand radio?
Oh, fuck no.
No, okay, good. So all the shit that was going on around the world... Oh, God, I can't say that.
No.
That was going on around the world. I got really quite well educated on that and decided that I didn't want to do it, wasn't willing to do it, couldn't continue to do that anymore because the world is way, way out of balance. Pick things like Fukushima, pick things like dead zones in the ocean. The global warming is just one issue that we're facing. The loss of topsoil, all sorts of stuff that is really at a point now where if we don't take action, we're in the deepest shit you can possibly imagine. And little kids are the ones who are going to be feeling that. It's not anymore about 4 or 5 or 6 or 8 generations away. It's our kids. So it was time for me to go, well, I'm not willing to sit around on my ass any longer and just do what I normally do. I am going to make a really big change in my life for balance. Then I discovered that peace, $1.7 trillion spent killing each other every single year. 40% of that from the United States. $1.7 trillion. Now we could make some really very significant changes to how the world works if we were to redirect that money, redirect how we live our lives, and then freedom. And we're watching that being eroded all over the world, including not really understanding that we don't have freedom the minute we take out a mortgage and then have to pay it back, or even maybe have our kids pay the rest of it back once we've passed on. You know, there's something out of alignment here, and I'm not willing to play that game anymore.
You don't fancy sticking around and sort of running for president or whatever at the moment, do you? I mean,
I'm thinking if I walk the entire world and then do that, it might be...
So this is interesting, because the walking of the world is the hook.
Yes.
He's using the walking of the world as the hook to get media attention.
Yes.
And then he talks about his issues once he's on air.
Yes.
Funny that.
But what worries me is he talks all about the end times, and there is that thing of, beware of false prophets. Now, it's either him or Russell Brand for me at the moment. So I don't know where to go on this one. When you're walking, you must obviously have time to think about all of these big things. What do you spend your time... I mean, obviously, one foot in front of the other is where you begin.
Very much.
You carry on. Are you joined by friends along the way? Is it a very much a solitary thing?
It's absolutely not about being solitary, although a lot of it proves to be that way. So I spend a lot of time completely alone, and I just repeat a mantra over and over and over again. And yes, it's very much about one foot in front of the other. That's a metaphor. The whole idea of this, the whole concept of this, is that it's a metaphor for anyone who says, I don't know what to do. It's like, take a step, brother, sister, whoever you happen to be. Take another step, then take another step, and then another step, and another step, and eventually you can traverse the entire world with whatever it is that you're passionate about, whatever it is that you believe in, whatever it is that you want to bring. Just take a step, and then another step, and another step. And so, yes, people are joining me. Yes, there's people who've dropped in for 4 hours. There's people who've dropped in for 4 days.
We have friends in the studio as well. We've got Paul here, and Liliana as well. Morning. You're very relaxed there about there, Liliana. You can carry on laying down. It was actually a great view from here. It's fine. It's all right. It's all right. It's fine. It's all right. So when you get materialist on it,
put a couple of things back on though.
Yeah, no, that's fine. That's fine. I'm sorry to be materialistic about it, but how is it funded? Are you a self-made man? Are you just choosing then to end this world with no money, but you've done this great thing, or is it being funded? How's it working?
I have about enough money to get me home from somewhere if I need to.
Right.
The rest of it, I basically say to people, walking with me could well be just handing me $20 today. I've got a little sign on my trolley. I'll push a trolley that says donations gratefully accepted.
So you made it sound so romantic of this man with a cloak walking, but then actually he's just pushing a shopping trolley.
I'm seriously, I'm the longest moving homeless man you've ever seen. I never get asked to move on because I'm always moving on.
Where are you going?
Look, he's got knowledge of self.
Exactly. It sounds like you're on a great path.
You can donate as well on the website. Can I mention that?
Of course you can. WalkingOurWorld.org.
Yeah, WalkingOurWorld or oneword.org, and you can make a donation on there.
Okay, so
find me and give me money.
So where did you start walking in New Zealand? Where did you arrive?
I arrived in Auckland. The plan was originally to sail in because, again, the whole thing of jumping on aeroplanes for every...
Maybe a spiritual man, but that walking on water shit, that's
I have not got it down
Not
yet.
that yet.
No. Since the holes in my feet and hands.
Yeah.
So I flew into Auckland, walked out of Auckland, and went across to the Coromandel and through Tapu and Hahei and so on, and looked at all the beautiful things over there. Then walked down to Tauranga, then Taupo, Turangi, unpronounceable place that's just sort of west of Turangi. Then down through National Park and Palmerston North and so on, and here.
Okay, so how long has it taken you to walk from Auckland to Wellington?
That's taken me 2 months. So I got on here on the 3rd of, latest into New Zealand on the 3rd of September.
I'm trying to do a little bit of maths in my head. How many miles?
No, it's a lot. It's a lot. But what I think's wonderful about this is giving you a new appreciation for the sense of scale.
True that.
You know, I travel to Auckland a couple of times a month, and it takes me
a couple of hours.
No, not even that. It takes me about an hour to get to the airport, get on the plane, fly there, and get the bus into town. You know, maybe an hour and a half at most.
There is such an amazing appreciation that is built that I had no real awareness of, except for that one walk through the Annapurna in Nepal. Is when you actually just put one foot in front of the other and really slow down to the pace that we were born into the world. It's just like, oh my God, look at this. And you meet people and you interact with people, and you can stop for a moment and watch one of these enormous bees you guys have here, like land on a flower. And and you can...
They've decreased by about 60% this year.
They have.
And you can spend time trying to hear if there's any birds, and you can...
True that.
And, you know, there's such an incredible appreciation of the fact that we are all like rushing around so much all the time. It's just so amazing to slow down and go, okay, here I am.
Where from New Zealand?
The intent is to get back up onto the east coast of the North Island and to find myself a yacht. I just sent an email off to one the other day, actually a tall ship, which would be very cool. To then move to the Pacific Islands, then to South America.
And then it'll be a big trip.
Well, yeah. I'm a sailor who like sees a boat and starts being ill, so you know, getting on and being much help is going to be interesting.
Are you going to try and stick to the coast when you get to South America and go all the way up? I'm sort of picturing where you would sort of go from there, really, sort of.
That's like planning, man.
He's not planning, man.
I got a general idea that I'm going kind of anti-clockwise or counterclockwise around the world, but.
I've got a feeling
there is a plan. I'm sorry, I'm interrupting.
No, go on. No.
There's a plan.
I talk shit all the time. Don't worry about it. You're a lot more interested than me, mate.
I have a plan to really. I've been involved in media for 30 years, and so I have a plan to do what I can with that when I get to the US, because it's like the media mecca of the world. So the intent is to actually have enough miles underneath my shoes and my feet by then, enough stability of mind and stability of heart and everything to be able to really meet the American media in a way that says to them, hey guys, you know, stop and think. Or maybe stop and don't think. Stop and be of no mind.
Just
stop and just settle, guys.
I look forward to when you get
narrative building.
Yeah,
that's what he's doing. He's narrative building right now.
I have an image of you walking the Lincoln Steps in Washington D.C. and it actually been a very big moment for you. I don't know. I see that.
I look forward to that. I have an image that I have to keep letting go of me walking into somewhere like New York and putting out a call on a radio station coming into New York and saying, hey folks, you know, if you actually think that balance, peace and freedom are valuable things that we must give more energy to, come out and walk with me, and having like 1 million people come out and just kind of wander along the streets.
You need to destroy that image.
Yeah, I know I do.
You know, you need to humble yourself, man. That's a super arrogant image.
It's not. I'm at the back.
Yeah, you're right. Fair enough. Push me this way forward. It sounds like I think it's something that we all dream of, but would never actually do. And Pete, you're doing it, mate.
Well, I mean, at least he's being honest, you know. I mean, if he didn't tell us, then you'd be lying to both of us.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you know, if you're really looking at that, one of the things that I've found is that wherever I'm going, I end up disturbing people. Because
it's very disruptive being slow, isn't it? And taking your own pace.
And disruptive doing something that particularly men say, wow, he's doing something that I wish I could do, or even find what it was that I would want to do and actually do it. But I've got a mortgage, I've got a wife, I've got children, I've got, you know, and there's like 101 different excuses why they can't actually embrace what on earth it is that they're really here on the world for, here on earth for.
And I think in a microcosm,
it's disturbing.
I think it's important for just to even walk to work would be a start. I know it sounds ridiculous, but just that walk into wherever you're going to.